Very good morning to all of you. On behalf of Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce, we welcome you all for this exclusive session on biodiversity, conservation, sustainable use, and benefit sharing. This is a topic very close to the nature, and the Chamber expresses its sincere thanks to Mr. Govardhan Singh, Deputy Conservator of Forest, and Karnataka Biodiversity Board for accepting our invitation to address at this session. Thank you very much, sir. The session is organized under the aegis of our CSR and Societal Branding Expert Committee, chaired by Mr. G.V. Rao, who is the Director CSR at Volvo Group India, co-chaired by Richa Sarna, Partner, TechScience, and also by Mr. Ashwin Babu of Ashwin Precision Products, Mr. Joydeep Nag from Genworks Healthcare, and mentored by Mr. Parameshwaran, Toyota Industries India. Mr. Govardhan Singh has over 25 years of experience in the biodiversity and conservation space, and he holds a postgraduate. He is a postgraduate in science in silviculture. Now we have the chairman, Mr. G.V. Rao, who has joined online. So, Mr. Rao, I'd like request you to kindly share few words, sir.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Rao.
Yes. So once again, very warm welcome to Mr. Govardhan Singh and all the participants who have joined us at BCI's office. And sorry, my apologies, I could not make it, physically to the meeting. I think this is a very, very important, significant topic we are going to discuss today on this biodiversity. And as we all know that biodiversity is essential for all the processes that support all life, including humans. And without a wide range of animals, planets, and microorganisms, I think we all know that we can't have a healthy ecosystem. That today we rely on it, be it air or be it the food what we eat. And also there are a lot of things and ways humans depend on biodiversity. And it is a very vital for us to conserve it. Just to give an example, I think the birds, bees, and microorganisms are responsible for 1/3 of the world's crop production. And we also know that recently there was a big movement on Save Soil, which was initiated by Sadhguru, who is a spiritual leader. And how do we can stop the degradation of soil, which is being deprived of the microorganisms? I think it's all important that the governments, the businesses, and also all the stakeholders, including the farmers and also the forest ecosystem protectors like, today the DCF and all of them, we join our forces to protect and restore biodiversity. And I think today we have Mr. Govardhan Singh to share us much more on this biodiversity and how to conserve it. And thanks for joining us, Mr. Govardhan Singh, and over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now I would request Mr. Govardhan Singh to address our members.
Very good morning. Good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
It's very pleasure for me to part of this awareness program. I am M.J. Govardhan Singh, Deputy Conservator of Forest, Biodiversity Board. So Biodiversity Board is a board formed under the Act, Biodiversity Act 2000. So we ourselves say that we are the super evolved species, dominant species of the world. Yes, it is true. Apparently. Now, why we are dominant? Because the environment condition is most congenial for us. If it change, if it will become advantage to other species, then that will replace. We know dinosaurs, no?
Yes.
Earlier, they were dominant. No, not. So here what to do? We want to be dominant species on Earth. We don't want somebody to take our place. Then what to do for that? We do not have to do anything. We have to do less. We should not pollute. It means what? Changing the combination of the existent environment is a pollution. If we do not change, then the condition will be congenial for us and we may remain dominant on this earth. So environment means it includes both biotic and abiotic, means living and non-living. Both are required. Non-living also is very, very important. See, suppose there is a change in pressure, change in temperature, will definitely change everything. In biotic, we are heterotrophs. We can't manufacture our own food as plants. We have to depend on others. So our dependency is much more on the biotic component. Biotic component means both plants and animals. Animals from bacteria to big animal like whale, or plant from algae to big trees. So all these things are contributing to us directly or indirectly for our existence. Now we are realizing, because science has invented so many things, made our life easy. The needs of the past now become necessary. Luxuries of the past now become necessary. And everybody wants all facilities, all comforts. So this science, like a double-edged weapon, it has contributed, and also same time we have misused it. These resources we have, while using the resources, we have excessively, sometimes we use excessively, sometimes we suppress the resources. So this will change the combination. It will affect the balance. And once this balance affected changes, no, then there will be a consequential effect which may not be favorable for us. See, we use biological resources as a food, as a clothing, protection, as a fashion, as a medicine. These are all required for us.
Paper. We use paper as well. Biological balance.
Yeah. Without people, how?
Paper.
Paper, yeah, see, everything. See, medicine, everything, we depend on them. But what happened because of this excess usage, over usage, we may say, or misuse, we lost so many things. In the process, we lost a lot of resources. I may have money if I use more current than required, I can afford it. There's no loss to me, but I am wasting the resource. It is somebody's share. So we should understand that. So see this is everywhere in the world. So what happened then in United Nations, all countries come together. They have passed a convention on biodiversity, biological diversity. During the Earth Summit held in 1992, they passed a resolution, a convention on biological diversity. The main objective of that convention is to conserve the bioresources, sustainable use of these bioresources, and equitable sharing of the benefit of these bioresources to the local communities and indigenous community. Because it has recognized that to conserve and protect the biodiversity, local communities are very, very important. Without them, it is not possible. So we have to protect them also. Coming to India, India is one of the 13 mega biodiversity countries in the world, which has 2.5% of the world geographical area, but 7.8% of recorded species. We have diverse environment, ecosystems, where Himalaya in the north, come to the south, coastal region is there. Third, desert is there in the west. North and east, we have high forest, rainforest is there. So diverse ecosystems are there. So now it is important for India to be part of this convention biodiversity, ecological diversity. So it joined into this convention in 1994. It became a member of that convention. So as a commitment to this convention, so Government of India has passed the Act, Biodiversity Act 2002, implemented in 2003. There also the main objective, the purpose of this act is to conserve the bioresources, regulate them, sustainable use of these bioresources, and sharing of profit arises from the bioresources to the local communities. This is the main purpose of this act. If you want, since this is the platform of industry, the industries which are using biological resources for commercial use should know this act, because ignorance of law is not excuse. If they do mistake without knowing the law, then it's very difficult. You can't escape. So it is always better to know the laws. When we do business, we should know it. So to say some silent features of this act is, this is to regulate the access to the biological resources of the country and equitable sharing, conserve and sustainable use of the resources, setting up of institutions. Under this act, 3 institutions are, they have categorized the whole India into 3 categories to execute this law. One at the national level, National Biodiversity Authority. One at the state level, at State Biodiversity Board. One at the grassroots level, that is Biodiversity Management Committees. These are all at local bodies level, like Gram Panchayat, Patan Panchayat, even the BBMP. BBMP has one Biodiversity Management Committee. So here the key role and responsibility is on biodiversity management committees. Any decisions taken by National Biodiversity Authority or State Biodiversity Board will have a consultation with the biodiversity committees and they will take decision on that decision. Apart from this, we have biodiversity rich spots in the country. Those things we have to identify and we have to declare thus as a heritage sites. So those areas can be protected. Other objective is also to protect and rehabilitate the threatened species. There are so many threatened species because of these conditions. And regulate to any foreign individuals want to take any bioresources from India, those things will be regulated by the National Biodiversity Authority. And even the technology transfers, if any findings of the research need to be transferred to the other country, they have to take permission from the National Biodiversity Authority. See, as I said, the structure of the Biodiversity Act. At national level, National Biodiversity authority is there. They mainly deal with like any foreign funder, non-citizen, Indian citizen, NRA, or any entity, a company registered in foreign country, or Indian registered company where foreigner is the part of that company. In those companies, those entities, if they want to take any biological resources for the commercial use or biosurvey, they have to take prior permission from National Biodiversity Authority. Otherwise, it's an offense. I will come to the offense part. I mean, penal sections. It's 5 years in imprisonment. Then anything, see, to get intellectual property right. So before applying, they have to get permission from the National Biodiversity Authority. When somebody want to transfer the research findings to the other country, a foreign entity, they have to take approval from the National Biodiversity Authority. Coming to the next level, like State Biodiversity Authority, any Indian entity, any Indian citizen want to use bioresources for commercial use, then he has to give primer intimation to this Biodiversity Board, and he should take permission from them. What they will do, but the State Biodiversity Board, depending upon the requirement, they do some survey. They consult the Biodiversity Management Committee, and they pass orders. They can either regulate or stop or prohibit to take that bioresource. So once they accept, the State Biodiversity Board accept, they will get into the agreement with the entity saying that, yes, you can take this much and you have to share the profit, ABS, access sharing to the locals. There are different methods are there how to share. Coming to the lowest level at the front, biodiversity management committees, which are at the local level, their responsibility is to conserve sustainable use of this biodiversity bioresources and protect the local knowledge, because here in biodiversity, apart from biological resources, there's a traditional knowledge also is there. Those things also we need to protect. So in the implementation happens at Biodiversity Management Committee only. Whatever resources, whatever money collected, monetary benefit, what we'll collect, all those things will go to them only. 95% will go to them. So there it will get utilized either to the beneficiary, it will be given to the beneficiary or to the committee to improve the bioresource, conserve the bioresource, and increasing the livelihood of the local community. Now let us know about little about the Act, some of the provisions, which is very, very important. As I said, Section 3 of Biodiversity Act is for the foreign entities, foreign companies, where the entity has to give prior intimation to the National Biodiversity Authority to get the bioresources or to do biosurvey, without which they cannot move. Then any Section 4 says, so without prior approval from the National Biodiversity, you can't transfer the results of research to the foreign country. And Section 6 says, when to get intellectual property right, you have to take prior approval from the National Biodiversity Authority, without which you can't take. So this is what Act says. Contravention of this, if anybody contravene this, it is punishable under Section 54. It is 5 years imprisonment or 10 lakhs fine or both. Or if the damage is more than 10 lakhs, then the additional equivalent damage has to be added to that 10 lakhs. All offences are non-bailable. All offences are cognizable. So penal sections are very strong. Coming to the Section 7, which is related to the State Biodiversity Board, any Indian citizen or Indian entity want to access biological resources for commercial use, then they have to intimate to the State Biodiversity Board in form number 1, which contains what is the resources they want, how much quantity they want, from whom they will going to buy or collect, where they are collecting, and for what use they are using. So they have to submit a form with 1,000 rupees fees. There in National Biodiversity Authority, they have to, the fees is 10,000 rupees. Here it is 1,000 rupees. With Form A, they have to pay the fees. So after submission, under Section 23 of the 23B of Biodiversity Act, the Biodiversity Board can regulate the access to the biological resources. Under Section 24, they will consult the biodiversity management committees, or they will get other informations, relevant information. Then they will issue an order saying they can access to the bioresources with conditions and with an agreement saying that after utilization, they have to share the profit. Profit sharing is based on the guidelines issued by the National Biodiversity Authority. They have issued a guidelines now how much profit has to be shared with whom, how much, all those things. See, coming to this contravention of the Section 23 or 25 of this Act, the punishment is 3 years and fine is 5 lakh rupees. And again, if the damage is more than 5 lakh rupees, then the additional damage cost will be recovered from them. Apart from this, there is another penal section, like any directions given by the government, National Biodiversity Authority, State Biodiversity Authority, anybody contravening this, they will be fined at the rate of 1 lakh rupees for the first time, 2 lakh rupees for the second time, and it continues then 2 lakh rupees per day. Okay, per day. And another thing with this act is, see, if any directions, if you are affected by any person aggrieved by this directions given by the board, National Biodiversity Authority, then the next appeal is to the Green Tribunal. You should go to the Green Tribunal only, not even high court. NGT, National Green. So Act is very strong. The intention is not to threaten anything, because see, unless we realize it, it's very, very difficult. See, we are protecting ourselves. We are not protecting somebody. We are protecting ourselves. And since it is very difficult to identify, see, laws have made strong. Otherwise, very, very difficult. Let's understand the guidelines, the beneficiary. See, One of the three important objective of this act is the benefit sharing. National Biodiversity Guidelines and Access to the Biological Resources and Associated Knowledge and Benefit Sharing Regulation 2014. This was issued by the National Biodiversity Authority in 2014. Little bit amendments are there, but basically everything is that guideline. We are following the same guideline. Whatever the benefit the industry get and a person entity get, in that he has to share. Like, this is only for the commercial utilization. If somebody using for himself, this will not be. He need not share it. Or the local hakims or nati vaidyas who consume, if they consume biological resources, they need not to pay this fee. Otherwise, they have to share their benefit. There are two types of sharing is there. Either you can say a share monetary or non-monetary, anything. Monetary is by paying to the National Biodiversity Authority or to the State Biodiversity Board. Non-monetary means with consultation, it has to be through the biodiversity management committees in consultation with State Biodiversity Board or National Biodiversity Authority. Coming to the monetary sharing, so in these resources we have categorized into two. One is high economic value resources, bioresource, and other is other. To the high economic value bioresources, at the flat 5% of the purchase value has to be shared to the Biodiversity Authority, either to the state or to the National Biodiversity Authority, depending upon the entity. Other than that, here there are two categories, like there are traders up there here, manufacturers up there. If the entity is a trader, then he has to give 1 to 3% of the purchase value. Whatever he purchased, bioresource he purchased or collect, of that 1 to 3% he has to share to the State Biodiversity Board. If he is a manufacturer, then he has to give 3 to 5% of the purchase value. Or there is another option, like you can pay at the sale value. This is because it's sometimes very, very difficult to differentiate, quantize all those things. To ease the things, they have made this. Means those who the expected sale is less than 1 crore, then they have to pay at 0.1% of their sale. If it is between above 1 crore and below 3 crores, then it is at 0.2%, right? Anything above 3 crores, then at 0.5% they have to share. So the State Biodiversity Board or National Biodiversity Board. Here, we are consuming bioresources. Those we can't bring into this. So they have exempted 421 normally traded commodities. Those are all exempted. 421 species have been listed. So those are exempted from this. Other than this 421 species, whoever access or consume, take this bioresources for commercial use, they have to pay this. Yes, they have to pay this fee. What National Biodiversity or State Biodiversity do with this share? They will keep National Biodiversity keep 2.5% of the share and give another 2.5% of the share to the State Biodiversity Board. Remaining 95% will be given to the Biodiversity Management Committee. When State Biodiversity Board collect this fees, then they will keep 5%. They will transfer 95% to the Biodiversity Management Committee. If see these benefit sharing is, this benefit will be given to the beneficiaries. Here the beneficiaries may be individuals, maybe a group of individuals. Local bodies. Individual means if some individual has a knowledge, if somebody use that knowledge, then that what ABS collected from that will be transferred to that individual. If it is a group, it will be the group. If it is not identifiable, sometimes it's very difficult to identify, then that will be given to the Biodiversity Management Committee. So they will use that to conserve the bioresources or they promote the livelihood of that local community. There are so many difficulties are there, so many hindrances are there implementing this. The main thing is unaware. Nobody, very few aware this. And once you say that no, share, give any tax, people will take all advantages of the law, escape from that, without knowing the intention. And the 5% is very small part. 0.1% at the sale, 0.1% at purchase. It's very small part. But this is very essential, without which it's very, very difficult. By paying, we'll also get aware. Such thing is there for this purpose, this is happening. So this is about this Biodiversity Act. There are so many things are there. See, it's like trader. If he if it is a chain, say suppose somebody purchase and again he resell it, then do we need to pay again? No. When you resell it, the only difference, there is any value addition, then only they have to pay. That much only they have to pay. It is that the purchaser has to pay this because he again use it for the commercial utilization. So purchaser has to pay this. And list that commonly tradable list is, that is keep on adding. We are adding depending on the situation.
How does the Act define bioresources? I think bioresources can be in
even bacteria,
industry.
everything. I said no. Apart from 421, all species. Even those are purchasing bacteria, azobacters. So they have to give the share.
But who controls this whole thing? Like if it is classified beyond 421 species, there are many people in the using this species or whatever thing they create for human well-being, organic based or something like that. So these are all big industries which control the organic based certain things. So they come under which board? They come under the approval from?
No. See, again, see what happens. If the entity is Indian, then it will come to the state board. If the entity is a foreign entity, then the National Biodiversity Authority will give permission.
So suppose if I make ಔಷಧ, like medicine for welfare of the human society, I go to the forest and collect those species and come back and formulate and then sell. Is it offense?
No, it's not offense. See, if you for self-use, if you do, it's not offense. Self-use is permissible. If you commercially, you sell, in that case only you have to take permission and give ABS.
This is the sea. Sea is one of the richest flora and fauna. Is
applicable to sea also.
Sea also?
Yes, all bioresources.
But the fishing Is it offense? No, because it is
No,
something
no.
like no.
In that list.
List.
It is there in the
Yeah.
list. Okay.
That will be in the list. Usually, what we consume as a food, what we are
Exempted.
using traditionally, all those things are in that list.
Chart it comes,
Exemption list.
chart it comes to.
Shark is coming.
Salt is commercial. Salt.
Salt. Okay.
Salt is commercial.
When you use it,
Yes, it
okay, when you consume it, when you sell it.
Okay.
But salt is
Exempt.
it's not bio.
It's a derived product. It is not a natural.
No, it's not bio resource.
It's not a bioresource.
Living things, anything living things. This is pertaining to anything living thing.
Not dead.
Even bacteria. We cannot say virus because we don't know exactly. We don't know what is living. It is left that any living thing.
That list of 420 will be available on your website.
It's all on the website, and it is in the Act. In the website, if you visit our website, everything is there.
Is biodiversity is coming under Ministry of Forest, or is it something called environment? And
No, coming under ecology, environment.
A couple of questions.
Please.
Thank you so much for sharing insight. This is a lot of things. The first time I heard about and learned about it. I've got a couple of questions whichever time permits. We have got your Biological Diversity Act released in 1994, and we have got Paris Agreement, which we have also signed on SDG. So what is the commonality between these two, and what are the uniqueness? You can share some thoughts on.
No, see, uniqueness is to conserve our bioresource and sharing the profit arise from this by using of bioresource commercially. This is the main.
And when we say the benefit of sharing, profit is sharing, can you explain an example so that we get to know more about it?
Okay. Say suppose, okay, sandalwood. So MSL will purchase sandalwood. I should say this. For commercial use, they extract oil and they sell it. So at the purchase rate, they have to give 5% of the value of that commodity. So
Who is owning it?
yes,
Whoever is buying it,
who is buying?
buying it,
MSL is buying.
buying it. So they will.
The forest department or any source. So 5% of that value has to be given as an ABS amount. So this amount will come to the state government as a state biodiversity board. So they keep 5% as a management for the management administrative cost. The remaining 90% will be given back to the source. So suppose that material has come from Bangalore. Source we know, no, at the time of purchase. So we transfer this amount to that Bangalore Biodiversity Management Committee. They spend that amount for the development of that resource, conservation of that resource, or the people,
Basically,
the livelihood of that people, to improve the livelihood of that people. Like say suppose they may plant more trees, they may protect it, protect the area. They may train the local communities. So like this, they will.
So will you have source only inside the forest or outside the forest?
In this example, see, we don't know. See, suppose imagine if you Makli Beru, suppose Makli Beru is there. We get from Magdi. If you get from Magdi, if the trade has happened, if they show as a source as a Magdi, then whatever the ABS collected, that will go to that area, that BMC. They will take further action, anything like to conserve, they can protect the area, they can propagate, they can create awareness, they can facilitate the locals to grow or collect or to improve their livelihood. So whole intention is to give the share to that local community and to conserve the resource.
And where is the IPR gets generated and who owns the IPR?
No, here the local community owns the IPR.
So how many IPRs we have got in as a country in our India, in this?
So in our state, we have over 6,000
patents
IPR.
and IPR, intellectual properties. Maybe
See, IPR will be held by the person who has it. What we say is, if you develop any IPR using Indian biological resource, then you should take permission from the National Biodiversity Authority. And there, when you transfer to any person, or out of that IP, if you trade and get profit, then in that you have to pay certain amount as a ABS to the National Biodiversity Authority.
just a curiosity, how much revenue we generate as a state or maybe the government center?
No, we are getting at around 4 to 5 crores per year.
Only.
See, here start in state. As in the country, it is huge. But thing see, as I said, no, it's actually this lot of people do not aware this,
Yes, that's the
and they are not disclosing it.
destination.
See, it has
The audit process is also how you do audit and also, right?
So just to add to the same question. But what are the cases which are currently you're getting? What examples you're getting for approval?
Yes.
Say 4 to 5 crores, what sort of approvals are these?
No. You are talking about
Income.
the ABS.
Yeah.
No, the standard trade. Wherever trade is happening in organized sector, we are getting.
Organized sector.
So, and here what happens, this all bioresources, they trade very much in unorganized sector. So it's very
good also.
Tea could also, if they use commercially.
So here you were telling that MSIL will be giving some share to the state board and state intel will be giving 90% to the local. But what happens if the MSIL purchases from the individual person?
Let him purchase from individual.
Even the state board will give him the.
That's what I said. This benefit sharing will be maybe to the individual or a group or the local body.
Is it a way to just basically say, okay, you have sold about 1 ton of sandalwood. So given that we're going to give some money back to you, so just ensure that you propagate or get some more of these kinds done so that you could sell more kind of a thing, or you basically ensure that the quality of that wood remains as intact so that the extract what you get from the sandalwood is kept in that particular thing.
All things, what you said, everything. So it's a conserve, sustainable use.
Okay.
They're motivated to do.
Final aim is to work at activities which will help conserve the bioresources. And then I think I had a question on that. One is the act and all these things that you had. What is the board doing in terms of educating the society or children? School level, college level in.
Yes, that's what we are doing. See, the main objective of our board is one is collection, this ABS collection, management, monitoring, giving suggestion to the state and to the local bodies. Creating awareness is also one of the important objectives of this board. So every year we do conduct trainings, seminars, and we have to educate our implementing agency. Here, the cases can be booked by the board, State Biodiversity Board or National Biodiversity Authority or Forest Officer. Forest Officer not below the rank of Range Forest Officer can book a case under this act. So we have to first educate the Forest Department, frontline officers, which are exempted, which resources need to be
Safeguarded.
get permission. Those things, identifying at the local levels, what are the resources being used, how much are, since it is in more unorganized sector, it's very, very difficult. First, we have to create awareness. Once they get aware, lot of money will come. Money is there.
Is that, sir, we are little relaxed on to promote our organized sector so that keeps the livelihood of eating food for the individual. Because otherwise they will get the job problem issue, etc. So are we little relaxed on that? Or how the network required a lot of big to reach?
It required a lot of network. It's required. We are slowly starting and we're expanding. And it is more on in another sector, very difficult. It will get, see, nobody will disclose.
Yes.
Now, once we tighten the industry, then things will come. They have to, because we say the source where the source is. Once we know the source, that will get recorded.
Lot of effort needs to.
Lot of effort.
Is there an auditing body to do inspect something like a random audit? You will check and then discover something, or is it self-declaration?
Board, we need to have more strong.
Like rate from me to the rate.
So this board, who are the committee members, board members?
See,
What sort of industry you pick?
see, the board has about 11 members. Presently, 5 from the department, ex-official members will be there. 6 will be the an unofficial representative. And chairman will be appointed by the government. It's an unofficial representative. So they have, as government changes, members will also change. Apart from the board, in our board we have 5 officers. One is I'm DC1, DSCF post is there. One ICE director, deputy director will be there. One horticulture deputy director will be there. One administrative officer will be there. From accounts department, one accountant will be there.
The director, the head will be from political body or from IS class? IFS.
No, the member secretary is from IFS, IFS department. The member secretary. Chairman is a
Political person.
Appointment by the government.
Sir, you spoke about heritage site and so on. So can you little elaborate what it is?
The heritage site means it's a highly biodiversity locations are there. Maybe high intensity species location, or some have more varieties of the species, biodiversity, or some have like good for research, or some have like old species, evolution series species. Those areas we will identify, we will mark and declare as a heritage site. There the rights will not be curtailed, but other development activities will be regulated. Like one we have GKVK is also declared as a heritage spot. Reason is they have planted so many varieties.
Correct.
A lot of varieties are there. It's a gene bank. So we have to protect that. Like that.
Now that more and more corporates are going green, they want to go green, they want to save the environment. So how the industries can implement all this, or how can they help?
Work with the board.
How can they help in chipping in their support to the biodiversity?
No, see, one is helping in creating awareness. Awareness is important. The second one is industry. See, they should bring awareness in the industry to disclose what they are using as a bioresource. Because
Leakage is there only.
But we need not to go offensively.
Right.
The self-declaration, self-disclosure, and that share is very, very small amount. And that is for the good cause. Actually, it is not revenue to the government. In other case, GST tax is a revenue to the government, but here it is not revenue to the government. It is back to the resource.
But while learning from the same conversation, other side, it doesn't give much of revenue.
It's not small. It's a small revenue. Small revenue. Small revenue. But for that itself, so much. Nobody is following.
Any big project come for ecology clearance before, let's say, mining? It disrupts the ecology of the living. So it is against nature. Mining itself, though we need metal.
That will dealt with other laws.
Not from this slide.
Not from this.
Because there you disturb the ecology.
No, they the disturbance, ecological damage.
Okay.
They're the forest conservations.
Correct.
Thing will come. Here, the bioresource utilization.
So it's utilization.
That is the deal.
There are two
Utilization for commercial purpose.
So that other department is different, is it?
And that's different. See, Forest Conservation Act will come in that. So Forest Department will.
One more question. What sort of litigations or disputes you have with people? I mean, just to understand.
No,
Like,
see,
board will take one view, saying that this, you are tapping something which requires approval, and the other party will say this does not require approval. What typical cases?
See, this 421.
Now, how do you
Commodities.
interpret, I mean, is there will be some dispute? What sort of
Dispute
disputes,
is, the only dispute is they don't want to pay the ABS. That's all.
Avoid that.
everywhere?
Avoid paying.
That is only the main reason. Otherwise, what is there? Nothing is
They,
there.
they don't want to pay because they claim they are falling in 421 items.
Those things also is
The
there.
board claims it is not
Yeah.
421
Uh, uh,
items.
That is actually easy. A list is there, you can differentiate. That is not issue. But thing is, they don't want to pay. They
Even
feel that is
knowing-
extra burden,
Even
but
knowing
yes,
it requires an
yes.
approval, they don't want to pay.
So what we'll do, we'll find, we'll book cases. About, in last year, we have booked around 50 cases. Only 50. 50 cases.
The number of disclosures itself is so. So in those disclosures, 50 cases they have booked.
You book the case, whether this case, information is put in some portal and information is shared to people so that others do not fall in the same line. Is something happening like that?
On the portal, we are not uploading it, the cases.
But how will others know that this is an offense? For example, I create an offense. He will not know that. He's my neighbor. I'm just saying.
Probably through FIR, something like that.
Complaint will be lodged with the court. So we can disclose those list registered cases.
I put in this way, simple sense. How many is being penalized in the last couple of years?
See, throughout the state, they are getting penalized.
1 or 2 only maybe.
No, they'll get a place. Because you can't win it. You can't win it. They buy time.
They'll buy time.
Here they pay time and that's all. Because see, it's very simple law. When you use resources, you have to pay ABS.
Correct.
So one clarity, all the cases is related to ABS or is there any other?
Most of them related to ABS. 90% ABS only the reason. See, two things. One, paying the ABS. Another is taking permission. So even before paying ABS, you should take permission.
First to take.
Violation is there.
So without giving intimation.
Unknowingly maybe also happening.
So you can't. That itself is an offense.
That can be regularized sir, after you filing the case.
It will be punished.
So you said there is a criminal punishment, imprisonment of 5 years. How many such cases have happened and what is the gravity of the case for 5 years imprisonment?
Yes, imprisonment. I don't know, but fine. See, there is a fine.
Fine is there, until like lakhs.
Compounding can be done on that.
No, compounding by the magistrate, not by the department. So it has to pass through the court.
And whatever commercializes total revenue one generate. Whenever he generates, we need to pay 5%, 2%, whatever the whatever total value
Annually. Or at a time, every year. Because that depends on the what quantity he purchased, what value he purchased, or what value he sell.
Just disclosure should be there.
So it comes into
No,
the.
you have to give Form 1. In the Form 1, they have to mention the biological resources list, their quantity, from where he is purchasing, from whom he is purchasing.
Is there any way that your board can disclose to the industry, your industry, saying these are the plans which are under extinction or which are being taken approval from you, which requires further development or nurturing, where companies can use the CSR funds for that purpose? Is there a way such communication is?
Yeah, that list is there. We have uploaded in our website, threatened species are threatened species. So if somebody apply to get permission, we will not give. If it's a threatened species, we will not give.
But how do we, develop the whole thing? Because we are planting teak wood, jackfruit wood, something, we have our own.
That's where conservation comes.
Either from see here, whatever the ABS fund the community will get, that biodiversity management committee will get. So they will invest that amount. They spend that amount to protect that or to develop that.
Exactly. Now, suppose if BCIC wants to plant 100 samplings, what was that?
Expected. I mean,
Can we approach you as an industry
Definitely.
body and say, please give us 100 plants, we want to plant it in the
Definitely.
area where you plant?
We can collaborate.
We can collaborate.
We can collaborate. Even forest department will collaborate.
To make investment in creating those saplings.
We not make investment. We
They
spend.
sell they will sell saplings.
Sale.
Will
Sale.
purchase
And then we'll go on and plan.
Yes, sir. No.
Yes, sir. You prepare a plan. We'll get approval. We can do together. See, it's all conservation. It's a natural
Yeah.
nature. See,
So each state has their own set of biodiversity for it.
yes, each state have a separate biodiversity board.
No, the board is one. There will be some native species for that particular state. It may not be there for some other state. So they have a list of all that kind of.
Threatened species they have.
State-wise also.
State-wise, national wise will be there. State-wise also will be there.
This 421, which is allowed.
Are exempted.
All over India, it's same.
Same.
Probably those are
It's a
unique.
national one.
So that's a common spread across India. So that's 421. That's
A union, B union, C union, everything.
That's right. Everything. Correct. That's right.
Yes,
Yes.
but everything is covered in that.
That we include things like paddy also.
Correct.
Dragon fruit, however, we can see that, so similar.
So there's an influx of some of these fruits which are not native to India. They've come from somewhere, but they're growing here. So that's also becomes because they are selling it for commercial purposes.
No. Here, what we say, the bioresources from India.
From India. Okay.
So those are outside the India. Okay. To do that, there is different act.
Oh, so there is different type. Oh.
You can't carry any species from other country to India.
Cannot get.
But I see shipment happens, right?
Should not. I mean, they have to take permission.
So they have to.
They can't.
I've seen in cargoes.
No, you have seen that thing. That's all. But they might have taken the permission or maybe illegal. See, there is a law. You have to take.
Now, it's trigger a question. When we travel internationally and the police said the checking, okay, we have carrying any species or
Definitely, they will check.
They will check.
Yeah, immigration.
I don't know whether to take it.
No, he will not allow the seeds.
They do not
He
allow
will allow cooked things.
something like rice.
He will
not allowed.
Living, he will not.
He will not allow.
Seeds,
Take
they
seeds.
won't touch.
Go on, seeds.
They won't
You
touch.
can't take seeds.
So again, we need to take proper permission.
Permission.
Right, sir. One final message. What is the message to the industries here from your board?
No, they should know that this is for the conservation, sustainable use of the biological resources which they are using, and their industry is depending on that only. So unless we conserve it, we use sustainably, see, we cannot continue. They cannot continue. It should be a long term game, no? If you consume excess, if you do not protect, so
It will not be available.
industry will collapse.
Balance.
This is only for, see, whatever this act is there to the industry only.
Anyways, good.
Thank you.
Thank you
Sir.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A lot of learning today.
A lot of learning.
Can speak as it is.
Very well prepared, well explained, and we could see your 25 years of experience totally deployed in this 1 hour session. Learned a lot of things about National Diversity Act, Karnataka Diversity Act, Diversity Management Committee of Karnataka government, which are species, 421 items, many things. Personally, it's a new learning for me. We look forward for a good collaboration with your board. Now that some plans can be planted by years and CSR can be done to that more. I'm sure many of the industries will be interested in focusing on those areas which are important for future generations. So thank you very much for coming over here and then explaining all the important points. You did explain about many of the legal provisions which were quite scaring for me. 2 lakh per day and 5 years insurance and things like that. So thank you very much. And as a mark of our appreciation, we wish to honor you with a sapling, sir.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So this year we are giving everyone.
Very good. Money plant.
Money plant, sir. Madam, you just hold one. So this is for you. We look forward for a more collaborative efforts from our team, sir.
Definitely.
Wherever you feel industries are not cooperating or it is difficult to bring in awareness, BCIC is always we can spread the message and talk what you gave today that we uploaded in YouTube. So that
I will give book also.
yes,
Act.
Yeah.
And sir, one request also, if you have got 1 or 2 pages, some write up on these to communicate with the people. Everything out there, all ABS.
So you please
Sign.
yes, you please sign and give it to us. And we have a library here.
That's one. We can,
And we'll keep this book in the library here.
sir, and also if it is a soft copy,
Signature words.
soft copy, if you have a soft copy of all.
Okay.
That's we can also.
Get the this public use or BCIC use library and that.
Public use. 13.
For library, BCIC library, or BCIC library. And what we do, follow up these talks, you know, one page write up, sir.
2 pages.
2 page write up. Mr. Ravindran is from
Application.
application.
Can have 2 pages something so which
Yeah,
you
I
can
can.
communicate with
So
somebody.
there are a lot of literature, or if you
One-
submit this literature, we will send you 1 2
No, I will give a brochure.
Brochure. Which have got.
ನಮ್ದು ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಲೆಟರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್ ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗಿವ್ ಅಸ್ ದ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಆರ್ ಎನಿ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಲಿಟರೇಚರ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್
We will share it with our members. So it's one more awareness program or awareness effort from our side to share it with our members so that they are aware of what needs to be done in terms of conserving the biodiversity of India.
Sir, one group.
one group, okay. Thank you.
Please.
Okay. Sir, from the Ministry of Forest Ecology, if you think there are certain items which requires attendance from the ministry board, please recommend speaker and topic. We will